that she was hunting for a man in England from 2013 onwards, when her marriage had crashed and she couldn't find anyone in Canada at the time. And she wanted wealth and she wanted fame.
She was hoping to have intimate meetings with Howie Mandel. Mrs. Mandel got wind of this.
Meghan is in a losing battle because there is a lot that is still going to come out about her. She definitely wants us to have a certain image of her, and she just doesn't want things that she's done in the past to come out.
Fresh details have now surfaced from Tom Bower regarding the well-known personalities Meghan Markle was allegedly trying to connect with long before royal headlines took over her public image. From a famous football player she was reportedly interested in meeting, to music stars who allegedly paid little attention to her outreach, and even a celebrity chef whose name continued to be linked to hers before Prince Harry entered the picture. The stories become increasingly dramatic the further people dig into them. Lizzie Cundy has continued speaking about one particular moment that allegedly changed the entire tone of their interaction and left a lasting impression on those who later heard about it. Back in 2013, Meghan had reportedly just arrived in London. It was a new chapter, a new city, and a completely different social environment filled with fresh opportunities and influential people. According to accounts from individuals who were allegedly around her during that period, she wasted very little time trying to establish herself within more prominent social circles. London offered access to celebrities, media figures, athletes, and business leaders, and reports suggest she was eager to explore every possible connection available to her. Her marriage to Trevor Engelson had already come to an end by that stage, and the separation generated plenty of discussion online. Stories circulated claiming that her wedding ring...
Trevor Engelson was very hesitant to put her forward for anything because Meghan was an embarrassment, no matter what she was put forward for and managed to get. She then tried to up the ante and turn it into something.
Say Meghan Markle, usually whinging and moaning about the press. She's flown in from Canada. And I wanted to be with my mates. I was like, no, I want to sit with my friends and have a giggle. He was like, no, look after her. But actually, we got on really, really well. And we did have a huge giggle. And she wanted to find an English boyfriend. So I said, look, I'll help you. So I was going through my phone. There was Ashley Cole, Chelsea footballer.
Was returned by mail rather than through an emotional face-to-face conversation. Whether every detail of those accounts is accurate or not, the narrative quickly gained attention because people described the split as surprisingly cold, efficient, and almost business-oriented rather than deeply personal. That perception continued to follow her for years and became part of the broader public conversation surrounding her early relationships. Then came the frequently discussed dinner with Lizzie Cundy. According to reports that have been repeated over the years, Meghan allegedly wasted no time getting to the point. Before the evening had even wrapped up, she reportedly asked whether Lizzie could introduce her to a famous British football star. There was allegedly no long build-up, no hesitation, and no awkward lead-in conversation. The request reportedly came directly and confidently right there at the table. And according to the stories that continue circulating, it was not just any football player she had in mind. The name most commonly attached to the account was Ashley Cole. For those unfamiliar with British football culture at the time, Ashley Cole was one of the biggest names in the sport. He played for major clubs.
She knew exactly how to play. And the point about Meghan is, it's easy to dislike her. But the point about her is that in her own terms, she is an astonishing success. She came from nothing, not a very successful actress. She had no money. She had no future after the Suits series in Canada. And suddenly she's an international star with quite a lot of money. And of course, in her terms, that's a great success.
You admired her at a performance, I mean.
Exactly. I mean, it was so little then, if not nothing, and it's nothing now. Do you know what I mean?
So she got back. No, but she got back in touch, and I think that's interesting because she did this. See, Piers is raging. Piers Morgan is raging because he said that she ghosted him. But with you guys, it never got to anywhere because you had your girlfriend.
Yeah, like I say, it was nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
Represented England on the international stage and attracted enormous media attention wherever he went. His professional achievements made him a household name, but his personal life was also generating significant headlines. The tabloids followed him constantly, and public interest in his relationships and off-field activities remained intense. Because of that attention, many public figures reportedly preferred to avoid getting caught up in unnecessary media drama. According to these claims, however, Meghan allegedly viewed those circles differently and saw them as valuable opportunities worth pursuing. Lizzie reportedly chose not to arrange the introduction, and Tom Bower has repeatedly pointed to that incident because he believes it revealed what he sees as a broader pattern in Meghan's approach to networking and social advancement. In Bower's view, every new connection potentially opened another door. He has argued that many social interactions carried a purpose beyond simple friendship, and that invitations often created opportunities to move closer to higher profile circles. What surprised some observers.
And the people who were on her hit list included Max George from the boy band The Wanted, the professional footballer at the time, Ashley Cole, and Matt Cardle, the former X Factor winner. So I'll get to all of that. But I think it's also sometimes very instructive, and I thank Princess Carparkle for the work finding these. Just taking a close look at the way that she appeared in the media.
She being published as Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She should have been published as Meghan Markle. And that would have actually aided her bona fides and made her far more credible and palatable and relatable than she has turned out to be.
Was not merely the request itself, but how quickly it allegedly happened. Meghan had reportedly only recently arrived in London, yet she was already trying to establish connections with some of the country's most recognizable public figures. Reports suggest that being turned down did little to slow her momentum. If anything, stories from that period claim she simply expanded her efforts and continued reaching out to even more familiar names across entertainment and media. Rather than backing away, she allegedly kept pushing forward at full speed, determined to meet influential people and strengthen her profile within British celebrity society. Then came another story that attracted plenty of attention because one well-known entertainer reportedly ignored her outreach entirely, almost as if the messages had never appeared in the first place. By 2015, Meghan was allegedly contacting British pop stars online and attempting to arrange meetings whenever opportunities arose. One of the names connected to those stories was Matt Cardle, the former X Factor champion. At the time, Matt enjoyed a strong public profile.
The celebrity chef who dated Meghan for 2 years while she was shooting her TV show Suits in Toronto. One big question, was Meghan dating Corey at the time she had that fateful blind date with Prince Harry? One published report in Britain says she was still Corey Vidiello's partner when Harry asked for her number. Corey isn't talking, but some are wondering if he took a little dig at Meghan following her engagement announcement.
We're doing just roasting chicken and
Roasting
having
a chicken. Trying to roast a chicken.
trying to roast a chicken. And
Just after they revealed they were roasting a chicken when Harry popped the question, Corey posted this video of chickens roasting with the caption, "Never gets old."
A dedicated fan base and steady recognition throughout the UK entertainment industry. According to reports, Meghan allegedly reached out to him and mentioned that she was a fan of his work. The story claims she expressed interest in meeting whenever she happened to be in London again. On the surface, it sounded like a simple and friendly exchange, but the response reportedly never developed into anything substantial. According to the account, often repeated online, Matt allegedly saw the messages and briefly considered responding before eventually deciding not to continue the conversation. The communication reportedly faded away without any meaningful follow-up. That detail continues to generate reactions because many people find it surprising when viewed through the lens of everything that happened later. Some online commenters still joke about the contrast. The woman who would eventually become one of the most talked about figures in the world reportedly struggled to maintain a conversation with a former reality show winner years earlier. Whether people view that as ironic, amusing, or simply an interesting footnote, It remains one of the details that frequently resurfaces whenever discussions about her pre-royal years appear online. According to these stories, though, the lack of progress with Matt Cardle allegedly did not discourage her at all. Reports claim she simply redirected her attention toward another recognizable British celebrity, Max George from The Wanted. At the time, Max was enjoying major visibility thanks to his successful boy band career, television appearances, and strong fan following across both the UK and the United States. He was exactly the type of public figure who regularly attracted media coverage and public attention. Sources familiar with the story claim the approach allegedly followed a similar formula. There were compliments, friendly messages, praise for his work, and eventually a casual suggestion that they should meet sometime. Same strategy, different celebrity. Yet Max would later describe the exchange as something that never felt particularly serious to him. According to his account, they exchanged a few polite messages, nothing especially memorable, and then life moved on. The interaction remained brief, casual, and largely forgettable from his perspective, with no indication that it would become a topic people would still be discussing years later. Long before many people connected these stories together, another detail reportedly resurfaced that kept fueling discussions about Meghan's early networking years. Years later, when news of Meghan and Prince Harry's relationship dominated headlines around the world, Max George reportedly came across her photo again and had a surprising reaction. According to accounts shared afterward, he supposedly thought, "Wait, wasn't she messaging me before?" That simple realization quickly became one of those stories people could not stop talking about online. What may have seemed like a small interaction at the time suddenly gained a whole new level of attention once Meghan became one of the most recognized women in the world. Social media users, entertainment blogs, and tabloid outlets all jumped into the conversation. People debated what those earlier interactions meant, while others simply found the situation ironic and fascinating. It became another example frequently referenced whenever discussions about Meghan's rise to global fame surfaced. Tom Bower has continued revisiting these stories because he argues they challenge the public image that many people were introduced to over the years. According to his interpretation, Meghan was not simply sitting back while influential people pursued her. Instead, he claims she was actively building connections, reaching out to well-known figures, and trying to establish relationships within powerful social circles. He further argues that many of the people she allegedly contacted showed limited interest in developing anything beyond brief interactions. At the same time, another chapter of her personal life was reportedly unfolding behind the scenes. During this period, Meghan was still linked to Canadian chef Corey Vitiello, a respected figure within Toronto's restaurant community. And according to accounts that have circulated for years, this is where the timeline starts becoming much more complicated and heavily debated. Reports have suggested that Meghan may still have been living with Corey around the period when her connection with Prince Harry first began developing. That particular detail has remained a major point of discussion among commentators because it raises questions about how various events overlapped during that time. According to several accounts discussed publicly over the years, Corey allegedly believed their relationship was continuing normally, while major changes may have been taking place behind the scenes. Take a second and think about how dramatic that situation would feel from his perspective. One day, everything appears stable and predictable, and then suddenly international headlines begin connecting your partner to one of the most famous men on the planet. Whether the reports are entirely accurate or not, it is easy to understand why people continue discussing that period so intensely. The sudden shift alone would be enough to leave almost anyone shocked and struggling to process what had happened. Tom Bower has repeatedly highlighted this section of the story because he argues that the publicly discussed timeline surrounding Meghan and Harry's early relationship does not always appear perfectly straightforward. According to his claims, some details reported in the beginning were later adjusted or clarified after questions emerged regarding dates and overlapping events. Critics and supporters have continued debating those points for years, with neither side appearing ready to let the discussion go. As more people began comparing various reports side by side, some observers claimed the overlap became increasingly difficult to ignore. Every new article, interview, and timeline breakdown seemed to generate another round of online debate. The topic continued gaining traction because people naturally became curious about how everything unfolded during those early months. However, one of Tom Bower's most controversial claims goes even further. According to comments he has made in interviews, Harry allegedly was not the first royal figure who caught Meghan's attention. That claim alone has generated enormous discussion and disagreement across social media platforms and royal commentary circles. Another rumour that repeatedly resurfaces centres around Prince William. According to Bower's interpretation of various events and writings, Meghan may have shown interest in the royal family long before Harry entered her life. Once those claims began circulating heavily again in 2026, online discussions exploded almost instantly. Supporters dismissed the allegations as speculation, while critics pointed to older material they believed supported the theory. Part of that debate focused on blog posts Meghan reportedly wrote years earlier. On her former lifestyle website, she allegedly shared positive comments about the royal family, admired Catherine's wedding, discussed the appeal of royal traditions, and spoke warmly about Princess Diana. Those writings later became the subject of renewed attention because some commentators argued they revealed a long-standing fascination with royal life. Although many of those posts were eventually removed from public view, archived versions and screenshots reportedly continued circulating online. Critics often point to those old entries whenever discussions arise about when Meghan's interest in the royal family truly began. Tom Bower has repeatedly referenced those materials as part of his broader argument that her interest predated her relationship with Harry by several years. Then, another frequently discussed rumour entered the conversation, the so-called vision board story. According to claims repeated by various royal commentators, Meghan allegedly displayed images connected to luxury lifestyles, travel, success, and royalty while living in Toronto during her acting career. Supporters argue such boards are common motivational tools used by countless people, while critics view the reports differently and connect them to larger narratives about ambition and long-term goals. As these stories spread online, some commentators claimed the images reflected where she hoped life would eventually take her. And according to some of the more sensational rumours floating around online, Prince William allegedly attracted her attention before Harry ever did. Whether those claims have merit remains a subject of intense disagreement, but the rumours continue appearing whenever discussions about Meghan's early years resurface. Unlike Harry, however, William was already firmly established in family life with Catherine, now Princess of Wales, and their growing family. To many royal observers, that path was never realistically open. Critics therefore argue that attention later shifted toward Harry, who at the time was often portrayed as searching for direction while dealing with intense public scrutiny and pressure. Commentators such as Tom Bower have claimed Meghan allegedly recognized an opportunity there and pursued the relationship with determination. That interpretation remains highly controversial, but it continues generating discussion because it fits into larger debates about motives, ambition, and public image. Over the years, additional people who reportedly attended London social gatherings during that era have also shared stories about Meghan's networking approach. According to those accounts, she was highly focused, energetic, and constantly introducing herself to influential individuals. Some described her as someone who understood the importance of relationships and visibility within elite social environments. A few accounts even claimed Meghan openly discussed wanting a successful and financially secure British partner. Those statements became major talking points online because critics believed they matched the image they had already formed regarding her rise through influential circles. Whether fair or unfair, those claims continued spreading and became part of the broader conversation surrounding her journey into royal life. Yet according to these same discussions, critics argue the ambition allegedly started long before London ever entered the picture. They claim Meghan had already spent years navigating wealthy social environments, attending exclusive events, and building connections among influential circles long before Prince Harry appeared in the story. That is where discussions often turn toward the frequently repeated yacht party rumors that continue resurfacing online. For people unfamiliar with the phrase, it is commonly used on the internet to describe luxury social circles involving wealthy individuals, celebrity guests, exclusive travel experiences, and high-profile networking opportunities. Locations such as Monaco, Saint-Tropez, upscale resorts, and private yacht gatherings are frequently mentioned whenever these rumors return to public discussion. Tom Bower has occasionally hinted at parts of that world in broader commentary, while other writers, bloggers, and gossip channels have pushed the claims much further. According to those reports, Meghan allegedly spent time around wealthy entrepreneurs, celebrities, investors, and influential international figures during portions of her 20s while working to expand opportunities within the entertainment industry and continue climbing toward a larger level of public recognition and success. One argument that critics frequently return to is this. They claim that despite Meghan reportedly spending years around wealthy, influential, and well-connected individuals, none of those rumored connections appear to develop into long-term relationships. Online commentators often suggest that people within elite circles tend to be cautious, reading situations carefully and keeping things casual rather than making deeper commitments. Then there are the photographs that continue resurfacing across gossip sites and social media discussions. Images allegedly showing Meghan at upscale social events connected to controversial public figures, including Prince Andrew, still generate attention years later. Some online commentators have attempted to link those settings to broader networks of wealthy social circles that received heavy media scrutiny at the time. However, many of those claims remain disputed, debated, and unverified. When critics combine these stories, they argue it creates a larger narrative. According to some royal commentators, it helps explain why Meghan appeared comfortable navigating elite environments once she entered royal life. They also point out that discussions about parts of her early adulthood often receive less attention than other chapters of her story, leading to continued speculation online. According to Tom Bower and other critics, the discussion does not stop there. They argue that Meghan's public image later evolved into that of a major Hollywood success story, while they believe her entertainment career was more modest before the royal relationship brought worldwide attention. Let's look at the career discussion for a moment. Meghan gained visibility through Suits, a successful television series that built a loyal audience and gave her industry recognition. At the same time, critics note that it was a cable drama filmed primarily in Toronto rather than a blockbuster franchise dominating global box offices. Before Prince Harry entered the picture, many people outside entertainment circles reportedly knew little about her. Tom Bower frequently emphasizes this point because he believes public perceptions of Meghan's celebrity status grew significantly after the relationship became international news. According to his view, Meghan had achieved a respectable level of television success, but was not necessarily on track to become one of Hollywood's biggest movie stars. Critics also point out that she reportedly had family connections within the entertainment industry that many aspiring actors would have considered valuable advantages. Her uncle, Peter Markle, spent years working as a television and film director. Her aunt by marriage, Melinda Cooler, also built an acting career. Critics argue those connections could have opened opportunities, yet they claim Meghan still faced challenges securing the type of breakout role that transforms an actor into a major Hollywood name. She also appeared on Deal or No Deal as a briefcase model. Years later, renewed interest in that chapter of her career led people to revisit stories about what was happening behind the scenes. Tom Bower has referenced rumors connected to that period, while various online commentators amplified claims attributed to former staff members and people linked to the production. According to reports discussed in recent years, some individuals described Meghan differently behind the scenes than the image later presented in interviews. Critics frequently point to her comments about feeling objectified during her time on the show, while others connected to the production have disputed parts of that narrative and argued the environment was more complex than later accounts suggested. Many royal critics then connect these discussions back to the well-known Piers Morgan story. In their view, it reflects a pattern they believe appears repeatedly throughout conversations surrounding Meghan's personal and professional relationships. According to reports, Meghan and Piers first connected through social media after friendly exchanges and discussions about meeting while she was visiting London. Piers later described her as engaging and interesting, and the pair reportedly met for drinks and conversation in Kensington. However, Piers has repeatedly claimed that communication stopped after Prince Harry entered the picture. According to his version of events, there were no further messages, no continued friendship, and no follow-up contact. That detail continues generating discussion because critics often reference it as an example supporting their broader theories. Tom Bower has described what critics see as a recurring pattern in which certain people allegedly become important for a period before later disappearing from Meghan's orbit. Supporters strongly reject that interpretation, but the debate remains active across commentary channels and social media discussions. Critics often mention names such as Ashley Cole, Matt Cardle, Max George, Corey Vitiello, Piers Morgan, and even members of Meghan's family when discussing these theories. Whether people agree or disagree with those claims, the conversation continues to generate attention. Now, in 2026, commentators argue that the spotlight has shifted toward Prince Harry himself. Every interview, appearance, and business move seems to attract intense public interest and fresh analysis. Critics point to developments involving media projects and business ventures. Some Netflix projects reportedly received mixed reactions, while Meghan's lifestyle brand generated significant publicity before later drawing more divided opinions. Supporters view those ventures as ongoing projects still, evolving, while critics argue the momentum has not matched the initial excitement. At the same time, discussions about Harry continue to grow. Observers speculate about changes in his public role, his social circle, and his future direction. Whether those interpretations are accurate or not, the attention surrounding him remains constant. Meanwhile, commentators such as Lizzie Cundy, Piers Morgan, and Tom Bower continue making headlines with new interviews and observations. Each new appearance seems to revive older debates while introducing fresh questions into the conversation. Critics argue that older stories, disputed timelines, career decisions, and past relationships keep resurfacing because public interest in the couple remains exceptionally high. Supporters, on the other hand, maintain that many of these claims rely heavily on speculation and repeated commentary rather than confirmed facts. That is why so many discussions continue returning to the same topics in 2026. Past relationships, career choices, social connections, and long-running rumors remain part of an ongoing public debate that shows little sign of disappearing anytime soon. And that brings everything back to the question people keep asking online. Out of all these claims, stories, and controversies, which part stands out the most to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. And if you think someone else would find this discussion interesting, share it with them and keep the conversation going.